So what was number 4? Yeah. So when you see something like analytics, so every time you see analytics, so that means you're going to deal with this historical data. You're going to create the like a time series data. You're going to do the forecasting. You're going to trying to do the predictive analysis. So in that area, you will be using the data warehousing solution. So Amazon is offering a data warehousing solution is called Redshift. So AWS cloud service is the best suited for online analytics processing. So OLAP and OLTP. So OLTP is online transaction processing and OLAP is online analytic processing. This is the difference I gave you. Show you what's the difference between these two and what kind of database we'll be using. For OLTP, you use the RDS, and for OLAP, you use the Redshift, the data warehousing solution. So let's see, somebody has number C. You have been using Amazon Relational Database for the last year to run an important application and with automatic backup enabled. One of your team member is performing routine maintenance and accidentally drop an important table, causing an outage. How can you recover the missing data while minimizing the duration of that? So remember, we have a two-way of story taking the backup. One is called automatic backup and other one is called manual backup. So in both cases, if you have your system is unable to take a automatic snapshot, then that you have to find the recent snapshot and you can store the data from there. Number 6. Which Amazon Relational Database Service engine support multi-availability zone? The answer is all of them. So all the RDS system, they actually support the multi-zone. So if you have a multi-zone enabled, so this is how you're going to create the read replica, and this is going to help you to distribute the traffic if you have your read replica in a multiple zone. At the same time, in multiple zone, you can have, if one server goes down, your primary server goes down, so it's automatically going to assign the DNS server to the next secondary or third server, which is close to the users. Number 7. Which Amazon Relational Database Service database engine support read replica? So it's already done. So these 1, 2, 3, 4. So read replica is a 4, and there's I think there's a 5 RDS servers which support multi-availability zone. So there are difference between the multi-availability zone and the read replica. So not all these the RDS is offering read replicas. Only these 4 services like MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, and Aurora. Then I have somebody did this. So your team is building an orders processing system that will open multiple availability zones during testing. The team wanted to test how the application will react to the database failover. So you can force multi-availability zone failover from one availability zone to the another by rebooting the primary instance using the Amazon RDS. So for the testing purposes, what you can do, you can have like a more than one server in a multiple availability zone. If you want to test, just reboot one of the system and you will see the traffic will be directed to the available or healthy instance. So this is how you can test it, by rebooting the system. So what is this? Okay, your company monitors its state using Amazon CloudWatch, which sends alarm using Amazon Simple Notification Service. What is this Simple Notification Service? Is it push or pull?
Push service.
Okay, great. So you get the message on your mobile phone. One night you get an alert that your primary Amazon relational database service instance has gone down. So you have multi-availability zone. See, the keyword here is, it doesn't matter if it goes down, because you have resilience and you have multi-availabilities enabled on this instance. What should you do to ensure the failover? So you don't have to do anything. No action is necessary. Your connection string points to the database endpoints, and AWS automatically update this endpoint to the point to your secondary instance. So the last one, you are working for a smaller organization without a dedicated database administrator. You need to install Microsoft SQL Server Enterprise Edition quickly to support out accounting back office application. Okay, database, what should you do? So launch AWS RDS database instance and select Microsoft. So this is actually what is simple and straightforward is you have to launch a new database server, which is, so I think I did not mention this in the database, BYOL, bring your own license. So what you can do, the Microsoft, every time you use their application, you have to get the license from Microsoft. Doesn't matter if it's a Microsoft Office and their database or whatever application they are offering. So like MySQL is open source, you can use that. Then you have Amazon's Aurora, you can use those. But for the Microsoft SQL, you have to get the license. So they are offering something. For example, if somebody is already running the Microsoft SQL server on their premises and they moving to the cloud, they're bringing their data migration, doing the data migration to the cloud, they can actually use the license which already they have, and they can bring their own license in order to launch the SQL database in the cloud. So that's all. So we have a 59 and 29 ratio. 12 of them was not answered. Not bad. That means we are more than 50% ready for the exam. So just you have to pay a little attention. Just go through the material I uploaded yesterday. I think I did that yesterday, yeah, for the database, and also I uploaded for the CloudFormation. So you will get the question on the CloudFormation and Beanstalks as well. So, and beside that, VPC, and in VPC, and then you can learn. I'm just picking those topics which you should be paying more attention. VPC is one of them, database, and the CloudFormation, Beanstalk, and the KINESIS, because the KINESIS is very hot right now. This is streaming services. So a lot of people are actually using the streaming services. They want to test your knowledge on how much you understand about the difference between different services they're offering under the KINESIS banner. So if you go through the material one more time, and Junaid has already shared the videos with you, you can watch those videos before going to exam just one more time, and you will be fine. And also there was another topic I discussed yesterday was Cognito. So Cognito is very hot right now. You might going to be tested on those topic, and how it's a February, what's a web ID federation, and what are the options are available, and how the user pool and what you call AWS token, that things works. They're going to be testing you on those kind of things. So let's start with the topic. So Amazon KINESIS. Amazon KINESIS is a services which actually you use to collect, process, and analyze the real-time data. So you can get timely insight and react quickly to new information. So you can imagine of many scenarios here by looking at this statement. Real-time scenario like stock market, like a weather forecast, something like Internet on Things, your cameras, CCTV. So what happened when this data is being streamed? You can collect the data and you can apply the logic on that data according to your requirement, and you can see the insight for your businesses. So insight means business intelligence. So you can create the intelligence on those data at the real time. So you can, with the Amazon KINESIS, you can ingest real-time data such as video, audio, application logs. So see the CloudWatch is one of the source for providing you the application logs, who logged in, when logged in, and what changes he or she made on the system, right? So those kind of logs. And you can think about the flight log. If a plane departure from the Heathrow airport and land in Sydney, so let's see it's like a 12 hours flight, and each and every parts in the plane is generating the logs. So how they are performing, if there's any error, and all those kind of things are happening when the flight is in process. So think how much data they are generating. And if you remember, there's a one plane was missed in Malaysia. They could not find, I think it has been like more than 5 years, they could not find a clue how that plane disappeared. So after that, now a lot of the aircraft company, they're generating the data, and at the same time they are sharing the data with the different towers around the world. So see how much data is being generated with the one flight. And if you look at the volume of the flights per day, and each flight is generating the data and is going to be analyzed real time. So for that kind of scenario, you need this KINESIS streaming services. So what's the benefit of this? Is a real time. It's real time, and you can analyze and you can process the data. You can ingest mean you are collecting the data. Ingestion mean collection. Fully managed, you don't have to deploy any infrastructure. You can just go there, and just like any other services, you can start using the services. All you have to provide, you have to give this scenario which going to be your source and where you're going to send the data. So this is going to, I'll show you next slide. So it's scalable. You can handle any type, any amount of data. So it's not going to cause any latency when if your scalar go in petabyte or terabyte of data. It's not going to cause any low latencies, and also going to handle any amount of data like a gigabyte or whatever. It's scalable, it automatically scale up. So here's the scenario. On the left hand side, you see the producers. So these are the application which are producing somehow data. Like for example, if the bank is having their own system, they're creating the account, they are doing the daily transactions. So those kind of data is being generated by the bank. And then you can have like playing the game online, and that game's also going to generate the data. Each move you made on that game, you click on something, you move the character, all the data is being generated. So you think you're playing the game, but behind the scene, the whole thing is causing the data generation. So there's many other applications and data warehouses that they are using this streaming service for generating the data. So generating the data is one thing, and then you have on the other side you have a consumers who is going to consume the data. It could be a human, it could be like machines. They're going to consume the data, and then they're going to process the data, and on that data they are going to create some sort of analytics. So if on this picture we have a producer, we have a consumer which is going to process. There are 4 servers, and then according to the requirement they are sending the data to the next level. So if they need the data in the data warehouse, they're going to send the Redshift. If they need non-relational data or unstructured data, that data will be passed on to DynamoDB, and then further analysis will be done on the DynamoDB. So if you just want to store the data on Amazon S3, so you can do this. So the way it works, so you are getting the data from one source to other source, and you're using the data stream. So in the stream you have a shard. What is shard? Shard is just like if you go on a highway and there's a lanes, so every lane is like a shard. So this is those going to be one shard, and every shard is taking the traffic and going in the same direction. So from host to the consumer, this is the direction of the data, and they are using different lane to transfer the data. So this.
I have a question. What's Amazon Elastic MapReduce?
Okay, this is a Hadoop file system. I give you example. When you go to the Google and you type, you try to search something. You put any name. You say, okay, London City, or maybe any article you are looking for. When you type that information and click on search, what happened behind the scene, the information what are you looking for is stored on multiple servers, multiple machines. And once remember I show you the master and slave thing?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So let me one note. So here is your server, and then you have different nodes. So you are trying to get the information. You see the search, and the master is going to, when you save the, for example, I am saving the article on the Google for the people to read. So when I save the data, so this master node is going to take the article and is going to partition the article and going to save on different nodes. The same page will be broken down in different partition and going to save it. So you search for London Life. This is the article you're looking for. So once you hit this, all the articles and everything related to the London Life will be passed on to. This is going to take the request and going to pass on to all these nodes. And this node going to find the relevant name like a London Life on their node, and they're going to give back the answer to this one, to the master node. So answer is going back. Now this guy, the master node, going to compile the information and going to pass on, going to display on the Google page. So what is happening? So this is going to getting from the information from a different node 1, 2, 3, and 4, and going to reduce the level of up to the level of which is more close to your inquiry. So this process called MapReduce. So the word London maybe there's so many things about the London, but you are specifically asking London life. So everything is relevant to the London life will be reduced at the level where he can display on the page. Understand?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, because this is called the Hadoop file. This is totally different topic called Hadoop distribution file system. So the Hadoop distribution file system, the behind the scene, the system they run called Hadoop. So Hadoop is nothing but the distribution file system. One file is distributed on different nodes, and when the query comes and it's going to take all the information from each and every node and going to display only the which is very close to your inquiry. So this is how they going to reduce the scope of the search. So this is called map reduce. So these are the things. So Amazon KINESIS is, I having a hard time to pronounce this. KINESIS, yes. KINESIS stream enable you to collect and process large stream of data. That's what you need to remember for the exam. You can create an Amazon KINESIS stream application that process the data as it moves through the stream. So there has to be some use of this data. When the data is you moving from one source to another source, in between you can actually play with that data. You can manipulate the data and you can create an application. That application going to fulfill the purpose of this data streaming. For example, you are just collecting how many people watch which movie, right? And you can have a live kind of data analysis. So think about the movie is being displayed all over the worldwide, like US, Canada, America, whatever countries, and the people are buying the tickets for that movie. So that data is collecting. Real-time analysis can help you. So at what time of the show and at what location, how many people were buying the ticket for that movie, even though you can have that level of analysis, and it's going to be real time. Amazon KINESIS stream can scale to support nearly limitless data streams. So there's no limit. You can have a terabyte, petabyte, or whatever the bytes are. They can handle this kind of data. The processing is then executed on consumer. So in the previous picture I show you like the processing, the data is coming from the source and is using the shards and going to the consumer's end, and here the rest of the processing is done. So here are the 4 services they are offering. One is called KINESIS video streaming. Everybody know what the video streaming is. So it's the KINESIS offering like started with actually Amazon. So Netflix is one of them, and YouTube and other things. And I can see a lot of people are using the Facebook live streaming as well for different kind of purposes. And then you have a data streaming. Data streaming is like a stock market data streaming. I give you example of the cinemas tickets. You can actually also take the airplane, another example of data streaming. And then we have a KINESIS data Firehose. So I'll show you what Firehose means in the next slide. And then data analytics. So you can do the analytics real time. So KINESIS, let me see if I started my recording. Okay, yeah. So Amazon KINESIS data analytics is like you can use SQL, but there are also other applications like Apache Flink. So this is like nothing but the client tool which you can use to write the code. It's called code editors. So you can write the code and you can analyze the data when it's in the process of streaming from one end to another end. And these streaming part, you all, as a solution architect, you should know the name of the product and how they work. Nothing more than that. The rest of the thing will be handled by the guy who is going to be specialist in KINESIS streaming services. So here is the KINESIS data streams. Like what data stream is going to collect and store the data streams, and they're going to collect gigabytes of data per second and make it available for processing and analyzing in real time. So these are the things you have to remember. What is data streams is. For the data Firehose, the process and deliver data streams, prepare and load real-time data streams into data stores and analytics tools. It's nothing but you are going to use the data Firehose from collecting the data from one source and delivering to the other data store, and they need a mechanism to pass on this to transfer the data. For transferring the data, they need a Firehose. So I will show you next. I think this is the next slide. Maybe on the data Firehose will make more sense to you. So data analytics analyze streaming data, get actionable insight from streaming data in a real time. So again, it's talking about the real-time data analysis. So KINESIS video streaming makes it easy to securely stream video from connected devices to AWS for analytics, machine learning, and other processing like artificial intelligence. So remember this machine learning, artificial intelligence, whatever you think of, again, you need a data. And that data is, you can have like real-time analysis on the video streaming or data streaming, which can be in a digital format or text analysis. All those kind of data analysis is done in the KINESIS environment. So KINESIS video stream automatically provision and elastically scales all the infrastructure needed to ingest streaming video from millions of devices. So these are the things you have to remember for the exam. So you can have data streaming from multiple devices, and you don't need to have to create the environment yourself. It's already provisioned for you. It's a durable store, encrypts and indexes video data. Like when you go to the Netflix, you see the index. It gives you the name of the movies, and the name, drama, actions, all those kind of indexes are available to you. And then you can use the like a API. So if you are using on your phone, so you are using the API application interface we learned yesterday. So when you send the request, you want to watch the movie, the request goes to the API gateway, and then it's going to hit the server, a Netflix server, and going to watch the movie. KINESIS video stream enable you to play back. So a lot of you want to see the scene you just missed. Maybe you want to see the playback option is also available. On demand, you know what on demand is, and a quickly build application that take advantage of computer vision and video analytics. So you can create actually the application on top of that according to your requirement. The recognition we learn about, I think, in the very beginning of this course. You're going to have machine learning, where you're going to do the you're going to look at the picture first, and you can recognize it's going to be as a dog or human or whoever it is. And if you are using the video recognition, I will show you the example what he's talking about, how you're going to use the recognition services for video, and the libraries for machine learning framework. So there are different way of analyzing these videos streaming. So there's different frameworks available in machine learning. So this is all you need to know high level. For machine learning, you can need video streaming if you are doing the machine learning on the video part. So this is the use case, especially in North America and maybe North America and Europe, especially in like a London area. I know it was very hard to drive a car because they have put a CCTV camera everywhere. So no matter how you're trying to save, you will get the ticket. So input, capture and stream the live video feed. See that this video camera is going to capture the license plate of this vehicle, and then this streaming is, because it's real-time streaming, the stream data is going to be streamed out to the next level. This is the processing part. This is the generation. This is the producer. They're going to produce the data, and the KINESIS is going to take this information, this data, and pass on to the next level, like consumer side of the services. And here they're going to match the license plate for suspected vehicle in video and send alert to the law enforcement official in their neighborhood. So this is the use case for the video streaming. Very simple, very low level kind of use case, but there's so many other use cases. I can see there's a video streaming. It's available if you are streaming, you are further pointing the camera towards your door. If the cat pass by or the dog pass by, it's going to ignore, because they have built-in artificial intelligence. They will only record if the human come to your door or pass by from your home. So this kind of intelligence can be built on the Amazon AI service level. Any question? So here's like a 2 minutes video which I want to show you how they are using the video streaming.
So the people we've told about video recognition have been super excited because they love doing image recognition and recognition. But they've said, well, that's great that I can do now video analysis, but how do I get all the video into the cloud? That's a pain in the butt. And in many ways, this is similar to the conversations we were having 2 or 3 years ago with people who said, okay, I get it. I want to be in the cloud, but how do I get my data in the cloud? And it's part of what caused us to build things like Snowballs and Snowmobile and KINESIS Firehose and things like that. And the problem is, if you think about all the videos out there, they exist in all these disparate types of devices, whether it's video cameras or cameras themselves or phones or satellites or radars. And there's a lot of diversity and a lot of standardization and a lot of normalization and a lot of work you have to do to be good at taking that video in from all those devices. So you could build a video ingestion service. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of resources, but you could do it. But I don't know why you would if we're going to provide something. So introducing the launch of Amazon KINESIS video streams, which securely ingests, stores video, audio, and other time-encoded data. So just like KINESIS for data that lets you ingest and store data, KINESIS video streams does the same for video and other time-encoded data like radar. And so it provides SDKs for the device manufacturers to install on their devices. It makes it easy for them to stream this video to AWS. And it also durably stores, encrypts, and indexes data streams, along with providing an easy-to-use API so that apps can access and retrieve these video fragments or tags based on timestamps. And then one of the things that we've done is we've deeply integrated KINESIS video streams with video recognition. And so what that means, we have an easy way now to stream all of this data from devices, all this video into AWS, and then you can immediately start to be analyzing it with video recognition, which is pretty cool for builders.
Okay. So every day they are coming up with the new ideas, and they're actually adding more services. So here I have another video to make you more understanding about the streaming. Amazon KINESIS data stream is a massively scalable and durable real-time data streaming service. So KDS, there's a short name, can continuously capture gigabyte of data per second from hundreds of thousands of sources, such as website, click streams, right? Like a tweet. So you can have a live tweet streaming, and you can analyze stream as well. Databases, events, financial transactions, social media feeds, IT logs, and location tracking events. So this Google Map and all there's so many kind of maps out there. They can use those kind of data streaming for the analysis purposes. The data collected is available in milliseconds. So see how fast it is to enable real-time analytics use cases. So I give you example of the stock market. If you see the fluctuation happening in the stocks, it goes up and down, and this is going to capture all this information and going to streamline with the people who are using and analyzing and buying and selling. So how this works, let me show you as well.
Data is all around us, whether as log files generated by customers using your mobile and web applications, new e-commerce purchases, in-game player activity, or as a fire hose of information coming from social networks, financial trading floors, and geospatial services. Collecting, storing, and analyzing this type of high-throughput information helps you stay up to date on your customers, organization, and business, but requires complex software and tons of infrastructure that can be expensive to buy, provision, and manage. Enter Amazon KINESIS. KINESIS makes it easy to set up extremely high-capacity pipes, which can collect and analyze your data in real time at any scale, enabling you to respond to anything from a new trade to a new high score immediately. So instead of having data locked away in large, text-based log files, which you keep meaning to look at later, just send each event to KINESIS and have it analyzed right away. Find patterns, trap exceptions, and keep an eye on all your operational details, taking decisive action instantly. Or maybe you're working with financial services data. You can now run minute-by-minute analytics continuously, instead of waiting until the end of the business day. Create dynamic dashboards such as value at risk stats, or update your financial models and simulations as soon as new data arrives. Turn raw data into detailed, actionable information, paying for the resources you need as and when you need them. And easily integrate with the rest of the Amazon Web Services Big Data family, including S3, Redshift, and DynamoDB. To get started, just create a new stream endpoint from the AWS console or SDKs and start pushing data in. You can choose the level of provision performance your data stream requires and add or remove capacity if your throughput changes. You can start running real-time analytics by incorporating the provided client library into your application, and then auto-scale the computation using Amazon EC2. There are no upfront fees, and you'll only pay for what you use. So to start using data in real time, at any scale, visit our website and sign up today.
So I hope it gives you more clarity on the topic.
Data is...
So let's talk about the Firehose. So the word came up from this the Firehose the firemen use to put off the fire with the water stream. So the purpose of this data Firehose is just the transportation of the data from one end to another end, and also it is going to allow you to do the ETL process: extract, transformation, and the load. So we learned this in our database. So what is ETL is? So what is the KINESIS Firehose is does is take the data, load the streaming data into data lakes. So what is data lakes? Anybody?
So raw data.
Yeah. So the lake is a storage area where you dump all the raw data, and from that lake, any like a businesses, they go and collect the data, extract the data from there according to their need. For example, this is a lake consists of all kind of the whole enterprise data, and in the enterprise data mean you have HR data, you have financial data, you have what you call supply and change data, you have a customer data. So everything is going to dump into the lake. The lake is nothing but the storage, and in that, from that storage, it could be like consist of like S3 buckets. So the department who need the analysis, you want to do analysis on their data, they can go and pick the raw data, and then they can perform this ETL on top of that. So, and after the ETL process is done, then it's going to pass to the consumer for business intelligence purposes. You can create reports on top of that. They can create a dashboard and something like this. So the purpose of this data Firehose is to actually collect the data and then manipulate the data, to transform the data. So these kind of activities can be done in a data Firehose. So it says, okay, another thing is KINESIS services is as you pay as you go kind of pricing, and this is also you need to know as a solution architect. This is not like a consistent or a permanent. It's not like a permanent billing things happening. It's as per use do you pay for the services. So the Amazon KINESIS data Firehose capture and load the data and in the different data stores. So that's the overall. So there's another service called Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch is like the Google, when you do the search in Google for any your inquiry. So those kind of services called Elasticsearch. So they can actually fed the data to the Elasticsearch as well. So main job of this is can capture, transform, and deliver streaming data to Amazon S3, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Elasticsearch. These are the services. So when you're going to differentiate these services with other, is going to transform the data and deliver the streaming data to Amazon or any storage. That's the main thing about the Firehose. So here's how it works: is you have like a producer on the left hand side. They're going to produce the data, and the Firehose going to take the data and see the keyword here is prepare and load the data continuously to the destination you choose. When you say prepare, for example, you have an inconsistent data. You have a first name, and some user have first name with the capital alphabetics, and some have like lowercase. So in order to build the consistency, you maybe the data type is wrong. You have a digital or what you call percentage data, and but when they created this data was they selected the wrong type of data. So you can fix all those kind of things during this transformation. That's the thing called transformation. So you can make the changes on the fly when the data is in flight going to the consumer side. So at the end, the consumer going to consume the data, and they can create the intelligence on top of that. So this is the use case of the Firehose. Any question? This is the last video. I'm trying my best to actually to capture the real scenario and picture in your mind how these services are different than each other and how it works.
By responding to data in near real time, today's applications can deliver powerful interactive experiences. New item recommendations based on recent searches, alerts about potentially fraudulent transactions, game adaptations during gameplay. To do this, applications collect and process data as it's generated, then use the data to update application experiences and engage users in near real time. This can deliver great user experiences, but building the back-end infrastructure to do the data collection and processing can be really hard. It requires provisioning and managing a fleet of servers to buffer and batch the data arriving from hundreds of thousands of sources simultaneously. If one of those servers goes down or something goes wrong in the data stream, you can lose data, and that great user experience can become not so great. Amazon KINESIS Firehose helps make sure that doesn't happen by making it easy for you to collect and process streaming data reliably, as easy as a few clicks in the AWS Management Console. Firehose scales automatically as volume and throughput varies and takes care of stream management, including batching, compressing, encrypting, and loading the data to Amazon Redshift, KINESIS Analytics, S3, and Amazon Elasticsearch Service, without you building custom streaming applications or managing infrastructure. Plus, there's no minimum fee or setup cost, so you pay only for the data you transmit. By letting you ingest streaming data quickly and automating administration tasks, Firehose frees you to focus on your application and on delivering great real-time user experiences. To learn more about Amazon KINESIS Firehose, visit aws.amazon.com/kinesis/firehose and get your first data stream up and
Okay,
by responding to data in near.
so this was about the Firehose. So last is like a data analytics. Amazon, as the name suggests, is an analytics service. Amazon KINESIS Data Analytics is the easiest way to transform, analyze streaming data in real time with the Apache Flink. Apache Flink is like a editor tool, just like SQL editors. So you can write the code and you can actually run the code, and you will get the question you're going to ask the databases. You can select all the employees whose salary is like more than 100,000 a year. So it's going to give the answer all of those questions, and in order to write those codes, you can use Apache Flink. Amazon KINESIS Data Analytics reduce the complexity of building, managing, and integrating application with other AWS services. So you can actually integrate with other services. For example, if you collect the data, you manipulate the data, and you pass on to the next level of next services, and the next service is going to utilize this information, and you're going to create some sort of business intelligence or analytics on top of that. So this is you can also do with the data analytics. With Amazon KINESIS Data Analytics, there are no server to manage. So see, it's a serverless. It's nothing behind the scene. You don't have to worry about. No minimum fee or setup cost, and you only pay for the resources your streaming application consume. So the very first picture I show you consumer and producer. So in that scenario, you only pay as how much data you are passing on, how much data is being utilized, and it's going to be charged in a number of bytes and bits. The data is going to, and the throughput, how fast the data is going to be transferred from one location to another location. So here's the ETL process. You can develop streaming application, ETL application with the KINESIS Data Analytics built in and operate to transform, aggregate. Aggregate means you can have like a number of students in the class. You can aggregate the data up to the level of last 5 years of data. You can pick any KPI, key performance indicators, and you can define those KPIs, and they will be analyzed and collecting the data from one end to the other end, and they're going to run the query as per your requirement. So capturing streaming data with Amazon KINESIS data stream and other data source, and then you're going to analyze in the data analytics, where you're going to write the query, and the output is going to be anything. It could be a report, or could be a dashboard, or could be analytics reports or something like that. I mean, mostly you create analytics reports and business intelligence. So Amazon KINESIS Data and Analytics can send process data to analytics tools. So there's so many analytics tools are out there called Power BI, which is a Microsoft product. Then you have a SAP company. They have a business object, and there are so many quick link and another tool. So I think the Amazon is using QuickSight. That's the name of the tool they're using for the business intelligence. So it can also be used for alert. If you get the message on your mobile phone or your laptop, the application you're running, you are monitoring and some sort of services, and you create the alert. If the system go past this threshold, then I should be notified using the SNS services. So you can build those kind of analytics in that. So here it is showing the input data is coming to the KINESIS data stream, and then in front of that they have a KINESIS data analytics. So this is the data is being transformed, ingested, and here you're going to create the real-time analysis on the data before it's going to the pass on to the next service level. In this case, it's showing the Lambda, and then from the Lambda is going to run the code if you want to further manipulate the data. Here it was showing is a perform post process and write to Amazon DB. So this function, the data going to pass to the Lambda going to run the function, and the function is this to add the information, to post the information into DynamoDB. And then once it's in a DynamoDB, you can apply any logic on that. You can create any report or create a dashboard. Any question?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, so I just want to show you the dashboard. Here it looks like. So see here, when you go to the Amazon KINESIS services dashboard, you will see what you want to do here. They're going to ask you a question. It's a KINESIS data stream, KINESIS data Firehose, which service you want to use. So let's see if I say I want to use this data analytics and create application. So it's going to take me this page. I can name my application my test app. And here it's going to ask you your environment. You're going to use Apache Flink or you're going to use SQL. So I say SQL, and I can give any name like name here, and then I can see any value. Test kin, and then you can create the application. So once you create the application, in that it's going to ask you to where to connect. Actually, where do you want to connect? So for example, if you have any devices running like a CCTV cameras or any other like a windmill or solar energy, you can connect to that, because all those things are Internet on Things. So you have provide the parameters. And once you have so they have given actually here a demo data. So I'm going to select that one, delete. Oh no, it should not be deleting. So you can go there and you can, this is from, you can create the stream. And you can name the stream and any name. So what was my name? My stream. So here see the shards. They're going to ask you how many shards you need, how many lanes you need. I say 1, and you can say create data stream. So now it's creating the data stream for you. So that's how simple it is. Let's see if I have any. See, I have this stream already. So in this stream, so now see, it's already hooked up with the CloudWatch, and CloudWatch is taking the information, how much data has been ingested, and how this is incoming data. Put record, how many data was put, And these are all kind of real-time analysis is happening right now. So if you can fan out means you can have more than if you have a resource like S3, DynamoDB, all those kind of things you can describe here. So this is the example they have given. You have a shard A and shard B. Shard A is going to send the data to instance, and then we're going to fan out, going to send out the data. So once the data is in the stream, then at the end you can fan out to many different consumers. Okay, that's the whole thing. Let me see if I can show you analytics. So here, if I click on there, you will see the data. So here is the streaming is going to bring the data here. It still like take a while. Once your connection is established, it's gonna continuously streaming the data, and then you can build anything. Here, see the editor. I was talking about Apache Flink, but this one is the SQL editor. So you can write the code here, and you can save and run, and it's going to show you the underneath what is the data is going to be. Somehow it fails. So it is trying to get the looks like it's going to get from the sample is going to get the stock market data. So this is how these things the streaming data works. So last thing is data pipeline. What comes into your mind when we talk about the data pipeline?
सर जहाँ पे डेटा का इनफ्लो आउटफ्लो जिस जगह के थ्रू.
Yeah, the data pipeline is a web service that helps you reliably process and move data between different AWS compute and storage services. So what happened, for example, you have a continuously, I give you example of the retail store. The retail store is actually, every night they are moving their data to S3, right? So you can actually build the data pipeline. You don't have to do this manually. You can actually schedule the tasks. You can every night at 10 p.m. I want my data to be moved toward Amazon S3, and then from there, the other consumer is called, which is going to use the EMR, Elastic MapReduce. They're going to use this data with this EMR tool to analyze it. So these kind of services you can build the pipeline, which is going to be actually automation of moving the data between two resources from source 1 to source B. So this is called data pipeline. This is how it looks like. Everything in data pipeline starts with the pipeline itself. So you have to build the pipeline first. A pipeline schedules and run tasks according to the pipeline definition. Then you have to define what's going to be your source and which going to be your storage. So in this pipeline, if you look at this, they have like a server on the premises. On the customer side, it's generating the data. It's good. You can think about the retail store is selling the product, and at some time and then at night the data is being transferred, and then the further you're going to divide this distribution, you can send the data to S3. You can send the data to. You can actually perform. You can also add the transformation here. You can say if I want to transform the data in such a way and clean the data and it's also called data cleansing. So data cleansing can be done in this pipeline. So once the data is cleansed, let's see, I say all the text data should go to the Amazon 3 first, the first one. All the information about the if I have any picture or I have any voice recording or something, you can transform the data and then say store in other bucket. And then you can say from this bucket, you can transfer the data to the Redshift for further analysis. So this kind of flow you can actually build in the data pipeline. So that's in a simple form. The data pipeline is the automation of the data streaming and data analysis and data transformation. And you can do like ETL process, you can cleanse the data, and you have to build and you can schedule the data. So what time it has to be transferred and what day of the month it should be transferred. If your store is closed on Sunday, then you can schedule it should not be transferring any data on Sunday. So these kind of things called data pipeline. So you might be tested on this. They're going to ask you what is data pipeline is, and they're going to give you a scenario question. So that's it for this lecture with the data KINESIS, analytics, video streaming, data and data streaming. So all you as a solution architect, you have to remember how many type of KINESIS streaming is available, and what is data pipeline is, and the pricing model. So these kind of things you have to remember. You don't need to remember all the underlying the technical part of this. That is not your job. So is there any question? No. So next quiz we're going to have on the VPC. In next class we will touch on VPC, and as well as we're going to learn about the DevOps. What is DevOps? So we think we had a very high level. I will go in details because DevOps is one of the most highly in demand skill right now. Highly in demand because if you go and try to search on this DevOps, you will see they are looking for a solution architect with the DevOps knowledge. So this is, I'm just going to add an extra topic which is not actually part of, you will not be tested on the DevOps in the exam, but I'm going to give you more information how the working environment going to look like. What is DevOps is, what was the agile methodology. So we're going to touch in the next two classes, and the next two classes are the last classes. Yes, it's on the 29th and 30th will be the last day. So I'm already sad.
Oh, sir, please don't be sad. You will be okay. अच्छा सर, मेरा एक सवाल था इस अभी टॉपिक से रिलेटेड नहीं। सर हमने पहले भी आपसे डिस्कस किया था, अगर कोई आर्किटेक्चर्स हों जो हम ड्रॉ कर सकें या कोई केस स्टडीज जो आप हमें प्रोवाइड कर सकें फॉर प्रिपरेशन, या वैसे ही, क्योंकि अभी भी थोड़ी सी कंफ्यूजन ये कि आर्किटेक्चर सर्विसेज तो अब समझ आ गई हमें, काफ़ी हमने मतलब सारी तकरीबन पढ़ ली हैं, लेकिन आर्किटेक्चर्स ड्रॉ करना कोई रियल लाइफ मतलब हमें सिनारियो बेस्ड कोई केस स्टडी जिस तरह मिल जाए कि आप इसका आर्किटेक्चर ड्रॉ करो, फिर वो आप इवैल्यूएट भी कर लें। तो सर इस तरह के अगर कुछ हो जाए।
डेफिनेटली जो नेक्स्ट क्लास है उसमें मैं यही करने वाला था। मैंने कहा चलो आपको सरप्राइज़ रखा हुआ था मैंने, तो उसमें जितनी भी सर्विसेज आपने अभी तक पढ़ी हैं ना उसको हम अप्लाई करेंगे इन द एज ए आर्किटेक्चर। तो हम ड्रा करेंगे पूरा आर्किटेक्चर के एक सिनेरियो मैंने ये बनाया हुआ है कि जो ऑन प्रीमिसेस एक बंदा एक बिज़नेस रन कर रहा है ऑलरेडी, तो अब वो क्लाउड में आना चाह रहा है। तो जब वो क्लाउड में आता है तो उसको जो ऑन प्रीमिसेस जो सर्विसेज रन करना है वो तो चाहिए। इन एडिशन टू दैट व्हाट अदर सर्विसेज ही गोइंग टू ऐड इनटू हिज आर्किटेक्चर, तो वो हम एक्चुअली बिल्ड करेंगे आर्किटेक्चर। जो लास्ट क्लास है ना उसमें हमने यही करना है, जो 30th को क्लास है उसमें हमने आर्किटेक्चर को बिल्ड करना है फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच। वी विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग جو ہم نے شروع کیا تھا کہ یہ ہے کیا, یہ آن پریمیسز کیا ہوتا ہے, یہ کلاؤڈ کے اندر انوائرمنٹ کیا ہے, وی پی سی کیا ہوتا ہے, ویب سبنیٹ کیا ہوتا ہے, اور آل دوز سروسز وی لرن سو فار وی گوئنگ ٹو انٹیگریٹ ان دیٹ آرکیٹیکچر. اس کے علاوہ میں نے ریکمینڈ کیا تھا آپ کو کہ جو آپ یوٹیوب پہ جا کے دیکھیں دس از مائی آرکیٹیکچر, اس کی اتنی ویڈیوز ہیں اور اتنی زبردست ہیں وہ, میں ابھی تک اس کو دیکھتا رہتا ہوں. سم ٹائم اٹس از ویری ہیلپ فل کہ ایک بندہ بتاتا آ کے کہ یہ میں کر رہا تھا لیکن اب ہم امیزون میں آ گئے تو اب ہم کیا کر رہے ہیں, تو اٹس گوئنگ ٹو اسٹارٹ میکنگ سینس ٹو یو. لیکن لاسٹ کلاس میں ٹوٹل اینڈ ٹو اینڈ ہم آرکیٹیکچر ڈیزائن کریں گے. اور اس کے علاوہ یہ ہے کہ دس از آن گوئنگ لرننگ پروسیس. ابھی بھی میں بہت ساری چیزیں دیکھتا ہوں. ابھی دیکھیں انہوں نے اپنا کتنا انٹرفیس چینج کر دیا ہے انہوں نے امیزون میں, تو اس نیور اینڈنگ پروسیس ہے, یہ آپ کو لرن کرے گا. مثلا جب میں نے سولوشن آرکیٹیکٹ پڑھا تھا اس کو کگنیٹو نہیں تھا, اس میں یہ ویڈیو اسٹریمنگ بھی نہیں تھی. تو یہ جو سروسز ہیں یہ ایڈ کرتے جا رہے ہیں. آپ کو ان کا نالج ہونا چاہیے کہ یہ سروسز اویلیبل ایز اے سولوشن آرکیٹیکٹ. جو بیسک کانسیپٹ ہے کہ آپ کو یہ پتہ ہونا چاہیے کہ یو کین ناٹ کریٹ سب نیٹ ود آؤٹ ہیونگ اے وی پی سی. یہ آپ کی چیزیں کلیئر ہونی چاہیے کہ یہ کوئی بندہ کہے کہ جی میرا 2 سب نیٹ بنا دیں آپ, تو اوکے so I cannot do without having the VPC. Either I have to کیا کہتے ہیں کسٹم VPC or I have to use the default VPC. اس طرح کا جو بہت ہی بنیادی نالج ہے وہ آپ کا ہونا چاہیے ہر حال میں, تاکہ آپ جب بھی ڈیزائن خود بھی کرنے بیٹھیں گے, اگر آپ کہیں گے فرض کریں میں نے EC2 لانچ کرنا ہے, تو what's the first thing you need for that? You need like a VPC, you need a subnet, you need a security group, right? And if somebody say, "Nahi, I want auto scaling," then you should know what the auto scaling is and how the auto scaling going to work. You have to create the target, right? So that for the load balancing. For auto scaling, you have to provide the information like a minimum, the desired, and what you call the level of the maximum. یہ 3 چیزیں آپ کو پتہ کہ اس کے بغیر آپ نہیں چل سکتے. دوسرا یو ہیو ٹو لانچ کنفیگریشن, تو یو نیڈ اے لانچ کنفیگریشن فار آٹو اسکیلنگ. یہ 3-4 چیزیں ہیں جو آپ کو صرف ایک ٹاپک کے اوپر یاد رکھنی ہے کہ آٹو اسکیلنگ کے لیے لانچ کنفیگریشن چاہیے, یور منیمم کیپیسٹی چاہیے, جو ڈیزائرڈ کیپیسٹی چاہیے, اینڈ میکسیمم کیپیسٹی چاہیے. دیز دا مین تھنگ یو ہیو ٹو ریممبر. لوڈ بیلنسنگ کے اندر آپ کو یہ چاہیے, یو ریممبر کہ لوڈ بیلنسنگ کے اندر آپ کو چاہیے ٹارگٹ, کہ آپ نے ٹارگٹ کیا کرنا ہے. دین یو کین فردر ڈپ ڈاؤن, اسے لائک اپلیکیشن لوڈ بیلنسنگ ہوگی یا نیٹورک لوڈ بیلنسنگ ہو رہی یا پھر اسٹینڈرڈ لوڈ بیلنسنگ ہوگی. سو یو نیڈ دیس کائنڈ انفارمیشن فار لوڈ بیلنسنگ. اس طرح کا نالج چاہیے آپ کو. یہ آپ کو نہیں یہ چاہیے جو میں دکھاتا رہا ہوں آپ کو وہ صرف انڈرسٹینڈنگ کے لیے دکھاتا رہا ہوں. کوئی آپ کو یہ نہیں پوچھے گا جی ہمیں کر کے دکھاؤ کہ یہ کیسے لوڈ بیلنسنگ بنتی کیسے کرتے کیسے ہیں. آل یو نیڈ ٹو نو ہاؤ ہائی لیول نالج آف اے پروڈکٹ, بٹ یو آلریڈی لرنڈ ان ڈیپتھ. جس ہر ٹاپک کو میں بہت ڈیپ گیا ہوں, تو اف یو کین گوئنگ ٹو واچ دا ویڈیوز اینڈ یو کین گو آن لائن. ایون دا گڈ تھنگ اباؤٹ امیزون از ان کی ڈاکومنٹیشن بہت اچھی ہے. ہر ٹاپک کو آپ گوگل کرو گے تو آپ کو ان کے ڈاکومنٹس ملیں گے اف یو وانٹ گو فردر ریڈنگ. اور اس کے علاوہ پھر ان کی ویڈیوز بہت زیادہ ہیں. تو اس کی کامیابی یہی ہے کہ انہوں نے جو اینڈ یوزر ہے اس کے لیے اتنا مٹیریل بنا دیا ہے کہ پیپل فیل مور کمفرٹیبل with Amazon rather than going to the Google. Google still in the process of developing those kind of documentation. آپ کہیں گے how to create a load balance, آپ کو اتنے ڈاکومنٹس مل جائیں گے, وہ اسٹیپ بائی اسٹیپ آپ کو بتائیں گے کیا کرنا ہے. So now you need to spend some time on these kind of things. اور بیسک کنسیپٹ آپ کو ہر حال میں کلیئر ہونا چاہیے. وی پی سی کیا ہوتا ہے, یہ چیزیں کیا ہوتی ہیں, ایس این ایس کیا ہے, پش ہے, پل ہے, یہ ساری چیزیں ہیں. اور جو کل کے ٹاپک تھے وہ بھی بڑے امپورٹنٹ تھے کیونکہ وہ دے گوئنگ ٹو آسک یو واٹ یور کلاؤڈ فارمیشن از, ہاؤ یو گوئنگ ٹو automate your deployment process, how to you going to use infrastructure as a code, what that mean. اس طرح کی چیزیں چاہیے. بین اسٹاکس کیا ہوتا ہے. تو اگر آپ اس کو لیکچر کو ریویو کرو گے اور اس کے علاوہ تھوڑی سی ایفرٹ کرو گے ریڈ کرنے کی ڈفرینٹ ویب سائٹ پہ جا کے, تو یو ول بی فائن. لیکن ہم انشاءاللہ لاسٹ کلاس میں پورا جو ابھی تک پڑھا ہے اس کو ہم اپلائی کریں گے ان دی فارم آف ڈیزائننگ اے نیو آرکیٹیکچر. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of the class.
Okay, sir, I wanted to say something. Our website is now live and our social media pages are also ready. Can you please, all of you, please like them and share them with your friends. हम लोग ने ही word of mouth spread करना है. फिर उसके बाद हम दूसरों से भी करवाएंगे. But first, all of us have to do it. So please make sure that you like all the pages and you're also sharing them.
Thank you. Done.
Okay, great. See you next week, inshallah. Okay, Allah Hafiz.